Hello folks, my name's Ian and welcome to me shed. Welcome to the channel. In search of a challenge. You may know that my long-standing friends, Guido, Bagot Corner, Hueylionsheart, even Jason Andrews, Make It Metal. We set a challenge for each other, which was restore something old. Some people have already started. CC Scraps and Black Country Diecast. I'm supposed to be showing it tonight, but I'm way behind. I've spent hours and hours looking for something, so I've got to go in there. I've got to find something. So, ladies and gents, I've moved everything from here to there and to there. Yeah, I know I've got way too much stuff because at least 8 years ago, 6 years ago, I put something underneath there for long-term storage, which I think will make an ideal restoration challenge. What do we keep under this bench anyway? It tends to be electric motors. I don't know, I've got a thing for electric motors, you know. So if I come across one, I end up sticking it under there. Hey, look at that. Well, what's that doing there? That should make a good challenge, shouldn't it? Restoring that anvil and all the lasts that came with it. I'll put that with the other two that I found the other day. Right. See, that's an old motor, isn't it? I should use that as a restoration thing. Anyway, I shoved something under there. I'll dig it out and we'll go from there. Well, that took a lot less longer than I thought it would be, and found my collection of electromagnets. I found what I wanted. It's called a Beecher bender. So that's been under there a good while, 8 years at least. I've had it a couple of years longer than that. The guy who gave it me had it a number of years and said he was given it by some old engineer or somebody or other. Right, what else have we got under there? I don't know. Let's put that on torch. And let's have a look. Well, I can't actually get down there. Yeah, that's a good clean. Geez, looks like a welding lens. A tub, I don't know what's in that tub. There's some transformers and motors. Right, if anything, time for a tidy up. Well, that tub turned out to be me old metal detecting finds. Yeah, that's got to be over 50 years old. I could restore that, couldn't I? We're digressing here now, aren't we? What is that? Who knows? That's old. Anyway, no, we're not here for that. We're here for that, I think. Onwards and upwards. Well, with everything back in place, I kind of made the decision that wasn't really what I wanted. So I moved into here. I basically had a lot of the stuff out the other day looking for some rough, strange threaded bolts for a neighbour. And in that time I pulled out an axe head, didn't I? And I thought, well, that would make a nice effort. And I had a shaft as well. but it seems to me not much of a, you know, stretching the skill set, is it? Just sticking that in there. So I carried on because I was looking for something I used to use when I was a little lad myself, and I couldn't find it. I've searched everywhere. I've had everything out. I've had all this lot out on this side. I've had all that out on that side. I've had everything on that side. I've looked underneath there, and I've put everything back and I've not found it. I've had everything out from under there and everything out from over there, and I've not found it. I did find it, because I took everything out from under there, and then I found that if I move that out, there's a little gap down there, and the bloody thing had fell down the side of there. So I can put everything back. I'll show you what it is I found. Oh, it's a lot easier to get it out than put it back in. Right. Okay, anyway. Back to business. One good thing is, when I was rooting underneath that bench and I pulled out all those motors, I'm thinking, Ian, what are you doing with all those motors? You're never going to make anything out of them. They're only tumble dryer motors. They won't have any bant in them, so they'll probably get just broke up for scrap. Well, they're on the bench to be broken up with some more fire extinguishers. So what do you know? We got the axe, like I said, put that one to the side. You know, I kept finding these foot lasts, and I said eventually I'll come across the anvil that they go in. Well, I did, and there's the anvil that they go in. This was my father-in-law's, Kathy's dad. He used to make clogs in his younger days, and there's some tools about, a couple of hammers and some brass, I'm going to call them brass nails in there somewhere. Right, so I'm glad I could put that all together, and indeed that could also be a restoration. Severely scarred. Now, if I had a milling machine, I could probably just mill across the top, take a couple of thou off, even hard face it, bring it back to looking new. But I have a milling machine. If I had a working milling machine, by the by, I came across that other axe head, bit too big. It's worthy of a restoration or artisticness, you know, do some Celtic scribing. Put a big IM in there. That was a Hueylionsheart thought. You know, my logo, etch it in. I came across that. Looked at CC Scraps. He did a 3-part video restoring something very similar. He's had a hole in the end as well. I got 2 holes in mine. That appears to be leather. So this was a soft face leather helmet. Leather. I'm going to call it a mallet rather than a hammer. And he did a very nice job of restoring his and keeping the character of the shaft that was originally in it. I just thought I'd show that. Right, I came across the rolling pin and said, that'll do for what I want. The reason being is, and what I was looking for, is this. My chopper. Quite a big chopper if I don't mind saying so. But it ain't got an handle. As a child, 7, 8 years old, it was my chore, that's the word, to chop firewood you know, and I used to use that. I don't recall it having handle on. I guess it must have done, but let's have a closer look. So that was my idea about taking that, maybe doing some electrolysis to get the rust off, clean it up, sharpen it up, maybe, you know, do what some people do and they carve a chunk out there, put your finger in and they carve a chunk out there. I don't know, but that was the idea. And then it dawned on me, now this is actually a big V shape. I weren't sure how to put a V in here. The idea was to actually go that far, have it to that far, and have that poking out the back end of here, and then weld a washer on the end, round it over nicely. That would stop this shaft coming off altogether. It's definitely old. There's the, what do you call it, the King's Arrow, the broad arrow, the Ministry of Defence marking. 73A, well, I did a bit of research. 73 stands for the issuing depot, not the year, because I was using this when I was, well, I was born in 59, so 6 years, 7 years later, and it's a lot older than that. A actually stands for the year, the dating year, 1949. So that is definitely meets me age challenge bit. However, to turn that down, my wood lathe is under there, and I'm supposed to have this done in the next few hours. So I'm going to pass up on that one for now. We will at a later date restore that to some glory. Which left me to find this. And I think this also belonged to Kathy's dad. And it's a number 78. It's a number 78 Stanley, number 78 rebate plane, rabbit plane. The Americans call them filibuster, filister planes. I don't know why. Okay, it's not in an unreasonable condition, and it does still have the guide, the side guide. Depth stop is missing, as is the cross end beads. But I think that is going to be my challenge. Alright, to that end, I better get started. I've got some diesel, I've got degreasing spray, and I've got some teeth brushes. So I'm going to start whizzing on that, and you can see that lot in my challenge video. A challenge too far, I think, this one. See you in the next one.